This is the project we're going to do today. I'm calling this one Indian Summer. These were the stamps that were used. I used some stamps from Makin a Scene. This one is the Rocky Shore T2-035F, and also the Leafy Tree T8-186D. Used the Small Wigwam T1-10A, the Sailboat Trio T10-233A, the Short Grass M026B, and the Cowboy Couple T1012A. And the Stampscapes stamps that I used was from the Nature Set 6, the water. The grass, in this it's stamped upside down, but that's from the Nature Set 7. And also the Flock of Birds from the Nature Set 5. Now I had also intended to use this small grass here from the Stampscapes Nature Set 9, but I forgot to stamp it on the main piece. And these were the other inks and stuff that were used. I used Memento Tuxedo Black, Stampin' Up! Soft Sky, Pool Party, Marina Mist, Island Indigo, and Garden Green. I used Copic Markers E55, E57, and E59, as well as G24, G28, N4, and the colorless blender 0. I also used a Marvy LePlume number 55 Iris Purple marker, and I also used some white gel pens. I blended the colors of the inks using some Yosang makeup brushes, which I obtained from Amazon, and I had also purchased some of the Yosang oval makeup brush holder to hold those 10 brushes. I'm using Chrome Coat glossy paper. I'm using 1/4 of a page. The Stampin' Up! Stamparatus, which is a stamp positioning tool, and also some Krylon UV resistant clear acrylic coating. And so let's begin. I went ahead and selected some of the stamps that I want to use, and I've just stamped them out on some typing paper just to get a general layout of how I want to do this. And I bought this 10-piece makeup brush set. It's got some really soft bristles. I bought this from Amazon, and also I bought this nifty little holder for these brushes. And I'm going to actually try some of these brushes today to see how well they will blend the ink onto the chrome coat paper that I'm going to use. I'll put a link to the brushes that I bought in case you're interested. I'll put a link in the description. Okay, and I'm going to use some chrome coat paper. It's I'm using the 12-point single-sided glossy, and I'm going to use 1/4 of a sheet for this. So that's going to be 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I've positioned some of the stamps that I'm going to use into my Stampin' Up! Stamp positioner. They call it the Stamparatus. And so I'm also using a creative corner. This is Misty Creative Corner, My Sweet Petunia. And so that's so that I can offset the center of these. So to start, I am going to ink up the shoreline and the birds just with some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Now the other stamps that are on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and turn around the cover so that I can get the rest of the stamps that I'm going to use my Stamparatus. But I'm going to put the background down first. And so I'm going to start doing the sky and the water with some Stampin' Up! Ink. And so I'm using Soft Sky, Pool Party, Marina Mist, and Island Indigo. I'm going to go from the lightest to the darkest. And the brush I'm going to use is the third largest. And so we'll start with the soft sky. And then I'm just going to brush this onto here really good. And then start brushing it on from the outside in. So I'm starting out, I have a glass media mat here, and so I'm starting the brush from the outside in, going in just one direction. My ink isn't quite dry yet. I'm going to give my ink a little bit, the Memento ink that I used to stamp, I'm going to give that a little bit more of a chance to dry. Okay, we'll see if this is dry enough now. Still using the Pool Party. Okay, to clean between colors, I'm just going to put the brush on a dry microfiber cloth and then just make sure it's clean, which it seems to be. Next, we're going to start putting on some Pool Party. So far I'm pretty impressed with how this brush is working. Next I'm going to put on some Marina mist. Okay. So finally going to end up with the Island Indigo, and I'm just going to do this at the edges just to get some darkness at the edges of the piece. I'm going to go back to my lightest, Soft Sky. Okay, now I'm going to use the field grass. I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black. And I am going to stamp in the field grass, and I'm going to use my chamois and just kind of wipe off the edge of the stamp. Okay, now I'm going to take the water stamp and some Memento Tuxedo Black again. And again, I'm going to wipe down the edges. Now I'm going to put it back in the Stamparatus, and I'm going to now stamp the couple, the tree, and the sailboats. Again, I'm going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black. Okay, I've given the silhouettes a chance to dry a little bit, and then I'm going to stamp another layer on them. Okay, I'm going to give these silhouettes a little bit better chance to dry, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, now I want to stamp again, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Up! Garden Green. And I am going to ink up the leaves of the tree. Okay, now I'm going to turn around and going to get these trees in the background again, making sure that this is correctly positioned. I can take the birds off now, and I'm just going to get the trees. Okay, and I'm going to give this a little bit of a chance to dry, and we'll be back. Okay, we're going to use the Stampin' Up! Garden Green again. And I'm going to use some of the small grass from Making a Scene. And I'm going to use my brush again, and I'm going to pounce it on the garden green. Okay, now I'm going to use the Art Impressions Small Grass. I'm using the Stampin' Up! Garden Green again. And in these dark areas of the stamp of the foreground, I'm going to go over with this small grass. Okay, now I'm going to use the Art Impressions Small Bunch of Flowers, and I'm going to use Marvy LePlume 2 marker, number 55, Iris Purple. And I am just going to color in the flower portion. Okay, now I'm going to use some Copic markers and to color the shoreline on the other side here. So I'm going to use E55, E57, and E59. And I'm going to start with the E55. Okay, and for the teepee, I'll use the E55 and the E57. Okay, now I'm going to use some of the E55 for the reflection here. Okay, I'm going to use some G24 to try and add some reflection from some of the trees here. Okay, now I'm going to use a white gel pen, and I am going to put some ripples in the water. Okay, for the trunk of this tree, I'm going to try some E57. Okay, white gel pen again. Okay, I'm going to use a thicker gel pen. I'm going to use a Copic marker N4 to add some shadow. Okay, and the last thing I'll do is I'm going to sign and date it. Actually, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the side and I'm going to spray it with some Krylon UV resistant clear acrylic coating. And when I'm finished, we'll be back. Okay, and this is the final product after it's been sprayed. And one thing I forgot to do is stamp these stamps in the corners. I completely forgot. But though the stamp I had used for that, or intended to use for that, is this small grass from the Stampscapes set number 9. But this is the final product. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.